How you guys doing? It's JT here from the Poko Moonshine family. I am live with Adam Lacy from Carnivore today. What's
Howdy,
up, Adam?
everybody.
How you doing, bud?
Doing good, JT. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome, dude. I'm in a good vibration today. I summer sausage is treating me good. And I'm glad
Nice.
to interview you, man. I've been watching you, man. You're a real interesting guy, and even your interview with Carrie, man. I just wanted to get to know you more from just on the stuff that you guys talked about. So,
Right.
and just before we start out, this is episode 1 of Chatting with Carnivores, and I am eternally grateful to Adam for being my first. So, thank you for helping me pop my interview cherry, and
Absolutely.
if you guys are interested in either of our channels, I've got them scrolling down at the bottom there. I've got Adam's handle and my handle. So let's get this interview started, guys.
Let's go.
Um, so how many days carnivore are you? I know you're a lot longer than I've been. So
About 6 months, maybe a little bit more. I was in a live the other night, and I said 6 months, and my wife was like, "Oh, you're not. You've been longer than that." I'm like, I don't remember.
it goes
It's
quick when
somewhere
you're
around
feeling
there.
good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I stopped counting because all the days are just magnificent. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why be petty? I feel,
Exactly.
yeah, maybe in the first couple weeks you feel petty. You're like counting. Now I just got to count just for the sake of my shorts. I'm like, oh, this is day 50 or
Right.
whatever. And I've literally
Right.
had to go to my calendar and go like, hold on. I started on June 21st. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh.
It's so true.
So yeah, I mean, I commend you, man. 6 months. I'm only 51 days in. So I salute you on that one.
Yeah, you're
That's
on
a,
the road, man.
that's a big
It's
achievement.
Thanks.
And I've got my questions might seem all over the place, so bear with me. But let's go to the next one here. Was there ever a point on the carnivore diet where you wanted to quit?
No.
No.
I mean, there was a slight consideration, in the first couple weeks with
Was
the
that
cravings.
the hardest point? Like, was the first couple of
Yeah.
weeks? Yeah.
Yep.
So
And it
maybe
was
you didn't
really,
want to quit, but it was.
right. I had issues with the 1+1 in the restroom.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that was a little kind of a pain. But the sugar cravings is really where
Were
it
you
was at
not
for
eating
me.
enough fat, or you eating too much?
Uh, I couldn't eat. Well, I was eating too much, I think, for my
So were
body. My
so were
body
you
wasn't
clogged?
converting quick enough. It
Okay,
wasn't fat adapting quick enough.
I
So
got you.
that was causing an issue in the restroom, and I wasn't taking any electrolytes to replace the ones that with all the wasting water and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
flushing out the electrolytes that were already there. So yeah, those couple issues made it a little rough, along with wanting to eat birthday cake.
Yeah. And talking about bathroom problems is never fun, but like, dude, it's part of life, and we have to use the bathroom every day. And when you don't feel good doing it, man, does it suck? And I
Yeah,
tell you,
for
on the
sure.
carnivore diet, man, I don't really have issues with that anymore. But how are you feeling now? Like, do you have that same struggles now?
Oh no,
No.
no. After I learned that I needed to get fat adapted, um, it took probably 3 or 4 weeks for that to happen
Yeah.
because my body seems to just do things slower than
Mm-hmm.
than other people maybe. But ever since then, we're good to go, man. Like I sometimes I'll go 5 days without making a visit
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that
That's
area.
yeah. I've been 2-3 days, man, and I'm like, well, I don't feel clogged. I feel great. So
Yeah,
it's like baby and breast milk. I think they're getting so much of the nutrients from what they're taking in, you're not going to see much coming out. So, and I
so
think the
true.
carnivore diet, you go back to that baby phase, man. You're just in such a high potent, nutritious diet, man. Your body is just like, yes, soaking it
Right,
all up.
right. Now the first time that happened, I'll admit I googled it. Like, am I constipated?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I was like, this doesn't seem right. Like it's because before, when I was helping my friend, supporting him with his
Hmm.
vegan stuff,
As a
I
vegetarian,
mean, it was nothing to go 3 times a day,
wow.
and oh, it was
On
insane.
vegetables.
Oh my gosh, dude, I was I was loading in the spinach and the kale and all this stuff in the blender, and
See, I've
drinking.
never got into that, so I wouldn't. I would
It was
never thought that. I would have never thought in a million years that that's gonna
it was
make you have to
massive
go
amounts of
more.
fiber,
Wow.
massive.
Yeah, and people say fiber is good for you because it helps clear you out. Your body doesn't want fiber; it rejects it. So it
No,
literally
right,
is. It's not good for you at all. It
right.
rejects
No,
it. That's why it clears things out because they don't want it in there. I wish
exactly.
more people understood that.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Did you have any bad cravings? Once you got on the carnivore diet, like anything,
Uh,
from stuff that you used to eat or drink. Did you have any bad cravings?
I was still addicted to Diet Pepsi,
Diet Pepsi.
and
My
I
cousin
drank some
loves Diet
coffee.
Pepsi. Yeah.
The only reason I drank, yeah, oh my gosh, that was 30 years for me, Diet Pepsi.
And it's tough, man, to just go cold turkey. It
Yeah,
takes
that was worse than the sugar addiction. The
really.
sugar addiction, couple weeks, it was good to
Mhm.
go. But the Diet Pepsi was, yeah, that was I couldn't give it up for the longest time, and I can share this later if you want how I got off of that. But yeah, the addictions in the first couple of weeks to sugar was probably the roughest part, and then after I got through that, now I'm addicted to ribeye.
Yes, dude. Like Carrie says, I'm getting high on steak now, man. High
Right.
as Einstein's IQ, man. Just off
Right.
steak, man, and it feels great.
Yeah,
Um, let me another question here. Do you work out or exercise on your carnivore diet? And if you do work out or exercise, what's that look like?
I do. I will use resistance bands. I have
Okay.
to be careful because I had a shoulder injury,
Mm-hmm.
and believe it or not, I'm the opposite of carnivore Kip.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a rotator cuff injury years and years and years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't go to the doctor because I don't do doctors, and it kind of went away over a period of about 6 to 8 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really have any issues with it since then. But I don't really exercise, so that's probably why it never got aggravated again.
Mm-hmm.
Once I went carnivore, the inflammation in my body went to zero. So now
Beautiful.
I felt like the nerve that was in that area of my
Mm-hmm.
shoulder, it was being protected by the inflammation. It wasn't being, it was like the inflammation kept the nerve in place or
Okay.
surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the inflammation went down,
You
now I
lost your
started
padding.
feeling pain.
Yeah,
Yes.
you lost your padding now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to be careful because of that starting out, but I
Mm-hmm.
found a really cool book. I'll probably share that at some point with stretching, and it has to do with hanging. And it
Okay.
reshapes the bone in your shoulder to kind of
Really.
pull it off of that nerve.
Mm-hmm.
And about 4 months of that, and my shoulder's perfect now. But to answer your question, I do resistance bands. I will do some dumbbells and things like that.
Me
And
too.
really, that's it. Just resistance training. I'll do. I read this book. It's called Convict Conditioning.
Yeah. They're working
It's a
out all day. They're bored,
right.
right?
Yes, exactly. And they're using body weight, and they're
Mm-hmm.
using like very unique, different ways to be creative in how to use your body weight and start off
They're
with
also
like
trading those
wall
biscuits for the
push-ups.
pork chop at lunchtime,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Keep the high
Right.
protein, man, when you're working out.
Right. Stay away from Bubba for sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Unless you got something to trade.
Right.
There is someone in the comment section, just too much crap. They said, I'm having a hard time breaking up with Diet Mountain Dew. Do you have any tips for that person? Because you
I,
said you would share it later, but why not? We're
I
here to
do.
help.
I do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So this is what I did, and this is not something that I came up with. It's Dr. Chafee came up with this, or where I
Mm-hmm.
first heard about it. Maybe somebody else did it, and he learned it
Mm-hmm.
from them. So I've got caffeine pills. I just found one that I thought was, that had the least amount of stuff in the pills,
Mm-hmm.
and I've replaced the coffee and the Diet Pepsi with a caffeine pill. So,
Okay. To like wean
I'm
yourself off.
right. So I'm getting rid of all the toxic stuff, the chemical soup
Okay.
essentially that's in
Yep.
that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still able to, keep myself from going through withdrawals.
Yeah.
And, I probably have 3 to 4 of those caffeine pills a day. And
Mm-hmm.
over a period of about 3 weeks, I just gradually took less of the pills.
Less and
And
less.
now I'm good to go. I'm
That's
off all of
great.
it. Yeah,
That's great.
it was
So
really easy.
that's great. So just too much crap. If you're listening right now, that'd be how you get off that Mountain Dew. Adam just hooked you up, man.
Yeah.
Here's another question for you. This is starting to be a carnivore myth. Do you snore? Do you snore at night?
Well, I sleep.
You
Like
said
you
you're
say,
married, right? So you're
right.
does your
Yeah.
wife like elbow you and like
No.
bruise you in the ribs?
Right. I'm usually doing that to her.
Oh, okay. So is she on carnivore?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
She's
I
eating a
like how
lot
you
more
said
meat.
that. I like how you said that. Not yet.
Right.
Give it some time. And
Right.
anybody, they got to come to their own decisions. You know, you
For
really
sure.
do. Mm-hmm.
She's a very strong woman, and she makes her own decisions. And I support that. And one of these days,
that's why you're still married.
Yeah, at least for now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're doing great, man.
Yep.
So you don't think you snore, right?
I don't think I do.
No.
I used to wake myself up every now and then snoring. And that
hasn't happened.
Yeah,
that's great. Not. Do you have any pets?
We have 2 cats.
So are you chasing the cats off at night? Because if you're not chasing them off, then you maybe not. Then you aren't snoring, man. The cats are all there. Your wife is good. So it does sound like you're not snoring. I'll take that. But what about sunburn? Are you getting any sunburn? Are you putting an SPF 50 on?
No sunburn. I can literally be out there for 12 hours in the direct sun in the summer, and my body will get red from heat, and maybe stay a little bit red into the next day, but
it doesn't turn to like a pain burn.
No, there's no peeling and all that sort of thing.
I've got the same thing.
Before.
I'll be bass fishing, and like years before, like I'm out there for an hour, and my face is like it hurts to touch. But now, like I'm out there, and like I take off my glasses, got a nice, tan, and no sunburn either. So I can attest to that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. This is a more serious one. Have you had your doctor check on you since you started carnivore? And if you have, like, what does your doctor say about how your health is?
My doctor says nothing because I don't go to the doctor.
Oh, okay. That's why I wanted to know. So, and like you just feel good, like know, yeah. And
if I felt like something was wrong, I would go. But I
know when something's wrong with you. Like if there was something terribly wrong, you wouldn't even. You would just say, "Hey, can you call 9 or you would call 911 like something's mad." Like you just know when you're on carnivore, like you're feeling great. You know your body, right?
Right. Yeah. I went to the doctor when I was younger. I had gastritis, so I went to the doctor for that, and then I went to the doctor for once I had the flu, and I went to the emergency room for that, and after that, the only time I ever went to the doctor was for a car accident that I had got a brain injury.
Okay.
And then I went to physical therapy and things like that. But that's the only times I've ever elected to go to the doctor. I've always had really good health. And
I try to stay out of there too.
Carnivores just sent it to the moon. Like I don't think I'll ever see a doctor ever again.
And I was watching an interview with Carrie. You said you got vitiligo. You said that was, or how do you say that?
Vitiligo.
Did I say it right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And how is that doing for you? Is that like cleared up, gotten worse on carnivore? How's that?
It's actually reversing itself.
Wow.
Believe it or not. So yeah,
that's insane. I didn't think that was something that could be reversed.
Yeah, right. Autoimmune condition where your skin doesn't have any melanin. They basically say there's no way to fix this.
Yeah.
So that's how I found the carnivore diet was through Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Okay.
Joe Rogan actually said that after 30 days or 60 days of doing the carnivore diet, his vitiligo actually started to improve. I thought, what? Wow. That's crazy. And at the time, I wasn't looking for a weight loss diet. So I was looking for a way to fix this issue with me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what the heck, right? I always do crazy stuff. So I'm going to try this carnivore diet. And man, it was no looking back from after that. Because of all of the other benefits that came with it. I mean, it's insane. I don't care if the vitiligo never gets fixed.
Right.
That's just an appearance thing. It doesn't bother me. There's no rash. Right. It doesn't itch or nothing like that.
As long as you're feeling good, right? That means more to you. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something the carnivore does give you, and it's priceless, man. You cannot put a number on your health, man. You really can't,
Hmm.
man. Like even if you got
No,
$1 billion and you not loving yourself, you'll probably spend your $1 billion on your health then. And
for
it's
sure.
cheaper to love yourself. I'll say you that.
For
I'll save you a
sure.
lot
For
of
sure.
money. Just send love to yourself, drink water, and stick to the steak and not the Cheetos, right?
Absolutely.
Here's a fun one. If you could cheat on the carnivore diet, not saying you have or will, but if you could cheat on the carnivore diet with one food, I'm just curious, what would it be? What's that one food?
Does it have to be food or like a manufactured product?
Whatever,
I would say probably nutty bars.
Mm.
Yeah, those are my
Oh,
those
you
are
just
my
brought back some
poison.
memories. Yeah. Yes,
I
dude.
wouldn't eat just one. I would eat the entire box in one sitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to
And,
like
and
these.
I'd peel the wafers apart from each other.
Oh, dude, they remind me of
And try to
Butterfingers,
get the
man.
last one where there was peanut butter on the top side and chocolate on the bottom side.
Yeah.
That was the perfect one.
Yeah, I liked them because they always came in 2 packs, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is one package. I'm eating both of these
Right.
at the same time.
Right,
Oh
exactly.
man, I tell you, the
Yep.
thought process is terrible, man. Um, here's another funny one. Do you do any carnivore couponing? Like when you're grocery shopping, or do you just look for sales, or any tips for
Uh
us?
no, not really. Just
Just buy which you're
yeah,
feeling.
I usually eat 6 eggs in the morning, sometimes with bacon, most of the time without, and a steak in the evening.
Steak in the evening. What
Yeah.
what type of cut do you like? What steak do you like?
I prefer ribeye because of the flavor, obviously, and the fat
Hmm.
content. But I also really like chuck steak,
Chuck steak. Okay.
which is the flavor seems to be better than the
Hmm.
ribeye, but it's a little bit tougher cut, so you have to take longer with cooking it.
Hmm.
And I'm usually I just want to throw it on real quick, get it done and over with, and I can go back to trying to create
Living life.
videos to help people. Yeah, and
Hmm.
live life for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever take the steak fat and like air fry it at all? Have you
No, I
tried
just eat
that?
it.
Oh yeah. I I don't blame you. Like certain cuts like are really like the fat melts in your mouth, and other like
Hmm.
cuts it's a little bit more chewy. So if
Right.
I get the more chewy fat, I'll try to stick that in the air fryer, and ooh man,
A lot
I'm
of
telling
times, what
you,
I do is I
good.
sous vide cook the steak.
What's that?
So I'll throw it's a water bath.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a cylindrical cooker that you lower into basically a pot of water.
Okay.
You can put it in a Ziploc bag, the steak,
Mm-hmm.
or you can vacuum seal it. You just throw
Yeah.
it in the water, kind of like a Salisbury steak or whatever, like you would when you're younger. Your mom throw that in the boiling water,
Yeah.
sort of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you cook it. I cook it at 131
Mm-hmm.
for an hour per inch of thickness,
Okay.
and then it renders the fat like super soft.
Oh.
And you just take it out of the bag, dry it off, let it cool for a little bit. I throw it on the grill grate, and I use a flame weeder that I got from Harbor Freight, a
Okay.
propane
Yeah.
flame weeder,
Yeah.
and flame sear it for maybe 20, 30 seconds on each side. Absolutely perfect medium rare every single time.
I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah. And you don't have to do any cooking when it's in the water bath for an hour or two. You just throw it in, pull it out, open it up, sear it. Good
That's
to go.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned in your interview with Carrie that you had cats and they were did you get them on carnivore too? You
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
Could you
I mean,
explain that a little bit more?
it
Like that's awesome.
it didn't take a lot to convince them
No, I bet not.
because they're already obligate carnivores.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, once I learned that, I mean, I knew that they were, but I always thought that they maybe had a mixed diet in
Mhm.
the wild, like maybe they were a little bit more omnivore and things like that because they'll
Right.
eat grass sometimes.
Right.
So once I found out they're obligate carnivore, now I'm like, we got to get these cats raw meat. This is what they're meant to eat.
Yes.
We always struggled with the cats to get water.
Mhm.
And they'd always have skin issues, trying to itch at it and dig at it and things like that.
Do
And
they drink better now?
well, in the wild, cats, when they eat a mouse or a rabbit or whatever,
Mhm.
those animals are the same as us, 75% water.
Ah.
So that's where they get their water. They
I
very
got you.
rarely drink from pools of water. So that's why our cats wouldn't drink water. And then on top of that the issue's compounded because they're eating all this, crunchy, like super 10 times cooked food,
Meow mix
even
and
if it's
stuff.
just like, yeah, exactly. We tried to do like single ingredient or as close to it. I mean, there were still like 20 ingredients in it, but tried to do grain free for them and things like that. But it still was causing issues for them.
Did you
So,
notice any change in your cats since they went on the carnivore?
oh yeah. So
Yeah, like they more
before,
peppy or something?
before the biggest change is in the litter box. So before
You were
our
cleaning
boy
all the time?
cat, yeah, our boy cat Bruno, I mean, it was like whew, this big in the litter box, right?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it stinked to high heaven. Like, you better get that thing out immediately or it's
Yeah,
going to
get it
kill
out of
somebody.
here. Yeah.
Right. So
That's
after
hilarious.
they went full carnivore and eating raw meat, it's literally like a tenth of the size and it does not smell at all. So
Wow.
that has to be better for him when he's trying to go,
Well, yeah, there's probably
Yeah,
less like reactions and
right.
less gas,
Before
all
he'd
that
be
going
like,
on.
"Meow, meow," like why is he running around acting weird? Oh, he's got to go to the bathroom.
Mm.
Yeah, he
See, and
don't do
that's
that
amazing
anymore.
how this carnivore diet is great for us as humans and animals, some animals as well,
For sure. Yeah,
honestly. It's
our
like,
girl cat Ella, her
mhm,
weight was a little bit over,
mhm.
and she's got to optimal weight now. It's going right exactly where she needs to be. She's a lot more active now. She's more talkative and more interactive now than she was before.
And I
It's
bet you'll get to
it's
make more memories with her over
oh
the
yeah,
long
for
run than
sure.
you would have if she was eating kibbles all the time.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. Like, love your animals too. Make sure they're getting the best food, whatever that could be. Because they want to feel as good as we do.
Hmm.
Here's the next question. This one's a little deeper here. Have you? What was a rock bottom moment in your life? If there's anybody out there going through a tough time right now, what was a rock bottom moment for you, and what was something that kind of helped you?
At any time or
Doesn't matter. Whatever
okay.
you're feeling.
Um, Probably the when I realized that I was going to get a divorce
Mm-hmm.
from, you know, my son's mother, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was, I didn't go to church or anything at that time, and probably 2 weeks after, that was probably like the worst time because, you know, I realized that I may not get to see my son as much as I wanted to because we were
Yeah.
going to split and things like that, and it was, I hit rock bottom, and well, for whatever reason, I'm sitting on the floor and just everything just sucked and it felt like the world was caving in on me. And I just felt this, super hot, like heat, and felt like something was just saying everything's going to be okay,
Yeah.
and the next Sunday I went to church and got saved, and that was it. So
That's beautiful,
that's
man.
what helped pull me out of that for sure.
That's great. So if anybody out there, you're going through a rough time, listen to what Adam just said, man. You can pull yourself through. When we all get times where we hit rock bottom. I hit rock
Hmm.
bottom too, when I almost died, and many other times too. So you can definitely. I was telling him earlier, man, to feel the highs, you got to experience the lows. So I'm hoping if
Hmm.
anybody out there, you're feeling a low, stick to it and focus on positivity, right?
Absolutely. Amen.
Um, Amen to that. Um, I was watching your interview with Carrie, and you were talking about the carnivore documentary, and
Hmm.
you're willing to even sweep and help out. Like, I love that, man. What drew you to Carrie in the carnivore documentary besides wanting to get it out there to help people? What drew you to Carrie in that documentary? What was calling you?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, at that point, I hadn't started a YouTube channel or anything like that, so
Hmm.
that wasn't a motivation to get involved.
Hmm.
I I I wanted to get the word out some way about this, and
Hmm.
you can only bug your family so many times before they're like, oh, okay, just shut up. I'm
Shut
tired
up
of hearing
about
it,
it. Yep.
right?
Yep.
So through watching Carrie, and you could just tell that. Uh, whatever faith you believe in, God, whatever was working through him to get the word out to everybody and how to heal and bring themselves to optimal health. And I'm like, I'm 46. I've done lots of business venture type things. I own a business now, and
You don't look that age, man.
thanks. I
You're
appreciate
looking
it.
good, man.
I appreciate it. So through all this experience of different things that I've done in life, there's got to be something that I can do to help, and just come alongside the project and help him in any way that I can. So, I've always been one to, if I see a need, I'll just step in and do it. You don't have to ask me. And I knew that he was gonna need help with this. He can't. There's no way he could do it by himself if he's wanting to get this on Netflix and things like that. So I was like, man, I don't care. I'll sweep the floors. Whatever you got to do. I'll play my little part, and I'll be happy.
That honestly, that's awesome, man. You remind me of my coach was saying, you don't want to be a go-getter, you want to be a go-giver. And you
Absolutely.
definitely are. You remind me of a go-giver, man. You're looking for ways and opportunities to give, and I think that's awesome, man. That speaks to a lot of your character, So besides your results with Carnivore, man, you've got good results in your personal life because you're a good guy. So I want you to stay on track,
Appreciate
man.
that,
If
JT.
anybody else too, man, look at his example because he's a really good guy, and it's not a coincidence that you were drawn to Carrie and Carrie was drawn to you, man. It's the universe. It's God. He's trying to expand and express himself, and he needed you to be part of it. And you heard that calling. You felt that heartstring being pulled, and you answered the call, man. And kudos to you for that.
Yeah,
Some
thank
some
you.
people ignore that call, and then
Yeah, well,
they
I'll
live with
tell you what.
regrets.
Prior to Carnivore, I mean, let's just say it was a different topic. So I'm a professional photographer by day. So let's just say he's a photographer and he had a project going on or something like that. Prior to Carnivore, I would have never reached out and been like, hey, I'll help. Or, if it was more intimate, not so public, if you will, where anxiety and things like that come into play, I never would have reached out and done anything like that in my life. As a photographer, I'm on this side of the lens.
Not
I
the other
put
side.
people on that side of the lens because I don't want to be there.
I
right?
see that. I
Yeah.
like that you gave me your perspective. I like that.
Right. Yeah.
No,
I was
that's
always
amazing.
hiding behind the camera. That's why there's not that many pictures of fat Adam. Right. Yeah.
So you feel
I was ashamed of being like that, ashamed with myself. And now I know, looking back, I shouldn't have been ashamed.
Yeah,
it was the poison from the seed oils and the sugars and these manufactured products that just keep us coming back for more, that it affects our minds. And once I was clear of that, the anxiety's gone, and depression's gone, and it's like just a weight is lifted. It's hard to even describe unless you've experienced it.
Yeah, it's an awareness. Do you feel that you have more confidence now? So what you're saying on the carnivore diet, it's boosted you in a natural way, like you just yeah.
I could sit and talk to the president of the United States, the emperor of the world, whoever. No big deal. Wouldn't be nervous in the slightest.
That's great. And it's like, I feel like, when you're feeling good and that the information you're giving out to people is just, it's so spot on for them. Like, how could you not be confident, when you speak,
Absolutely
like,
right. Exactly.
Because you've got that awareness, like how good you're feeling and how good you're doing. Another question here. Okay. What's been your favorite benefit that you've received, either, health wise, from doing carnivore?
Wow. I would say the time savings, because now I have so much more time to not necessarily fill it with things to do, but be more
do things you want to do.
Right. And be more mindful of my time. And, now I've got time to move things around and put things in place and be more efficient. And, I'm doing stuff like I eat and then I immediately wash that dish, and our dishwasher is just a drying rack. It's insane.
Yeah.
So the time savings is just, it's through the roof, and I've been able to spend more time with my wife and be more willing to do things like that. Whereas in the past, just kind of being in a more depressed state and just brain fog and lethargic and
Mm-hmm.
sleeping more and not getting good sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just the benefits just compound and compound and compound on top of each other. And the time savings, I think would say is probably at the top for me.
Yeah, you can't get time back.
Right.
Once it's gone, it's gone. So if you can find ways to start saving it throughout the day and be more productive, or not even be more productive, just to find more time to enjoy life itself, right? Like
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
You're spending less time at the grocery because you go to one spot and get your eggs and your meat,
Mm-hmm.
gone. You are spending less time washing dishes. You
Mm-hmm.
only have a couple things you need to wash. You're not
Mostly
prepping.
knives now. I feel we wash our knives all the time
Right.
ever since I
Exactly.
carnivore.
Right.
Yeah.
A knife, a fork, and a cutting board. That's
Mm-hmm.
about it. And then there's no, you're not prepping vegetables and peeling them and cutting them and coming up with all these recipes and spending all this brain energy on what do I fix. And you've been convinced that you have to have variety. You don't need any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have a few things that you need to purchase,
Mm-hmm.
and food is fuel. For some people, it's a I wouldn't say addiction, but it's
It's a pastime. It's something to do.
right.
You go
Exactly.
to the
It's a
party and
social thing.
half the thing to focus on is, oh, where's
Right.
the food? And oh, let's talk about this food. And
Right.
man, let's
Exactly.
talk about
Exactly.
life, man.
Right.
Food is just food. You're supposed
For
to eat it
sure.
and move on, not
For sure.
let it consume your day, right?
For sure. You
Yeah.
gain time because I sleep. I don't know about you, but I sleep 2 hours less a night,
Me too. I'm literally
and
up
I feel
till
better
maybe
than I did before.
12:30 a.m. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel rested though. It's not like
Yes.
I'm getting less or like pushing myself. Like I'm like walking around doing circles. Like I'm like, I gotta take the dumbbells again. Like,
Right. Yeah. I'm
like,
up at 10
God.
o'clock at night doing the same thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
your body's it's just screaming out to you like, dude, I have so much energy, so much power now. Like, let's use
Yes.
this,
Yes.
It's like not
Absolutely.
using your superpowers, it's like it's hard to not use them, right?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go do another question here.
Mhm.
What advice do you have for anyone watching that thinks the carnivore diet is maybe dangerous or unhealthy?
Well, if you think it's dangerous,
Yeah. What
you
could
know,
you do? Someone who thinks, well, because the thinking is eating all that bacon and stuff, it's not good
mhm,
for you. What could you
right.
say to them to like? What
I
would
think
you say to them?
the biggest thing I could say to somebody in that situation would be is take control of your own life, right? And experience it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide if it's right for you or not, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
These guidelines that are out there, I'm not saying that they're bunk or not true or anything like that. You can believe whatever you want, but the proof is in the pudding,
Mm-hmm.
if
Proof
if
is
you
in the
will.
steak, right?
Exactly. The proof is in the ribeye.
Yeah, the proof is in the goddamn
Right.
ribeye, man. We're gonna put that on a shirt next,
Right.
right?
Right. So you're not going to die from heart disease or your arteries clogging and things like that for doing this diet for
No.
30, 60, 90 days. And once you're at that point, you can decide for yourself, how do you feel, right? I guarantee you're going to feel absolutely incredible, and you're probably going to continue. Maybe not hardcore, but I'm going to continue to be as hardcore as I possibly can, because if I go off diet, it doesn't feel that great. It feels
Mhm.
like I've ate poison.
Yeah.
So, but
It's
yeah,
not fun.
that'd be my biggest piece of advice is, you are the boss, not the American Heart Association, not the food pyramid,
Right.
nothing like that. You practice it, you do your own experiment, you try it out, you see if it's good for you or not, and then you decide.
Correct. Yeah, this is your life, your experience.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
live it to the fullest, try things, like live a little and see if it helps you live even more. Like you just might be surprised, right? With the carnivore, it's going to help you live a lot more.
Absolutely.
Here's a good one. How's your mental health doing since you're on the carnivore diet?
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better. Yeah. I
You
I
getting
would
any
be
mood swings at all? Like you want to stub your toe and you're like, damn it. Do you get
I'll
as mad
still,
as you used
yeah,
to get?
I'll still, do that for sure. Yeah. Throw out a couple expletives for sure, and I did break my toe
Ooh.
a few weeks ago. And
Oh, sorry to
if
bring.
I
I didn't.
wasn't if I wasn't on carnivore, it would have been much more painful. But literally, the pain was there for maybe 12 hours, 24 hours at the most, and I was a little sore after that. It bruised quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, after that, it was like I could walk on it no problem. I didn't tape it. I didn't do anything. And
Really?
that's the power of the ribeye.
Yeah. And question after that, like, do you feel it helped your healing process then the carnivore
Oh,
diet? Like,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely,
that's
yeah.
amazing, dude. I just keep finding all these new things. You
I
pull
never
up
would have
one
healed that
stone and
fast.
this stone, and God.
I never would have healed that fast before, for sure, because my body typically takes longer to do things, especially like healing a cut or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now cuts heal extremely quickly.
That's amazing. And you think of animal in the wild, if they get a cut or something breaks, they don't really have a doctor to go to. So you would hope
Mhm.
that their diet could help them
Right.
survive,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So diet, man, it's just I keep finding turning up stone after stone here, and there's just all these carnivore goodies, man. I'm telling you, we're finding
Yeah.
here.
Prior to going carnivore, my as far as depression and things like that, I didn't really talk about it that much. I'm a dude, so most of us try to hold that stuff in. But
Dudes
I
get
can I can
depressed
talk
too,
about it
man.
now. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it affected everything for me. I didn't go to the doctor and get diagnosed. When you're not feeling good.
When you're depressed, man, because
Right.
you're not
Yeah.
thinking good, man. You're not
Exactly.
yourself.
Yeah. It's just life sucks, and there's a
Hmm.
lot more challenges, and your mind goes in some dark places, and it
That's
causes
how
all kinds
mine
of
was.
problems, with your
Hmm.
marriage and things like that. And I definitely feel that uh, my life has taken a turn for the better in regards to that for sure. And, I'm still making strides
Hmm.
to be as good as I can, as a husband and a father. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I hate
definitely
to tell you, my
an
coach
improvement.
says when it comes to self-improvement, there's no graduation. He said
Right.
you're gonna be working on it until you're dead. So I mean, just it's about getting a little bit better each day. Like in whatever your vices are, whatever we've got, in our life to just improve on. So
So true.
yeah, there's no graduation. So and
Right.
that's also a good thing too. You can keep on reaching all these new levels of achievement, which is great. Now you said
Absolutely.
something earlier. You said you're a sports photographer.
Yes.
That's awesome. Could you who's somebody you've taken a photo of just to give us an example? Like, of what do you seen through the lens of Adam?
uh, I've photographed NFL, uh, NASCAR, NHL, the president.
Wow.
I mean, you name it. I basically shot every professional sport that there is. I
Was
shot
it tough
for.
to do that job pre-carnivore?
Yes, definitely. There was one instance where I was shooting on the PGA tour, and Tiger Woods was coming to the 18th hole, and I was having issues with getting dizzy, lightheadedness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was electrolytes or if it was just blood pressure or what it was, but
Right.
I'd bend down and I go to stand up and I would immediately fall over. Well, it was starting to happen where when I bent down, I was feeling woozy. And
Oh man. Yeah.
well, we're on a hill, so you get inside the ropes access. Some
Mm-hmm.
photographers, which I had, and then some are outside. Well, inside the ropes, there was a huge hill at the 18th hole, and I went to kneel down, and I literally could envision myself on CBS live, this photographer just rolling down this hill and cameras falling all
No.
over the place.
No.
Yeah, I literally seen that happen, and I thought I was fighting as hard as I could. Do not let this happen. Do not let this
Yeah.
happen
Do not
because
roll. God damn it.
right. And I was actually able to save myself at like the last second, and it didn't happen. But yeah, so I would carry around a 400 millimeter 2.8 camera, a 70 to 200, usually a 24 to 70. So I got three camera bodies, three
Wow.
lenses,
Wow.
a flash, all kinds of gear and
It's
stuff. So
heavy.
there's a lot of weight, and it was a struggle, man. I'm telling you, it's like probably 35 pounds to 40 pounds worth of equipment. And if I was to do that, I stopped, once COVID hit, all the sports stopped.
Yeah.
So once the sport stopped, you can't go, you can't work at all.
Mhm.
I was out of work. So I didn't go back. I concentrated in a different area. I partnered up with my business partner, and we started a business doing youth sports league photography, the team and individual stuff.
Right.
And we're pretty successful at that now, but
It's great.
I never went back to that. But if I did, I would have no problem carrying that stuff, man. I would carry all that weight and be running around, and yeah, there would be no problem at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I could imagine not being on the proper diet, and then you already like don't have the same energy you have now, and you're carrying around all this stuff and trying to get that perfect shot and not fall over. And
right, yeah.
It's a lot going on at once.
Yeah, the hardest was like the NASCAR and IndyCar at Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
So because that track is so huge, and when those races are going on, it is super hot. The weather's hot, let alone there's all this asphalt.
And then the car engines, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. So you have to walk, from one corner to the other corner to the other, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're in the pits. And I mean, there was plenty of times where I felt like passing out then. But I'm a dude. I gotta keep going.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you giving that perspective of a photographer, because I think we all take it for granted. We open up magazines, or you see some these photos of things that happened at the last NASCAR event, and you don't put any thought into who put effort into taking that photo, and what they went through that day, lugging around their equipment and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah,
I've been stepped on by NCAA basketball players, smashing my lenses and
really
knocking me in the head. And
I remember Dennis Rodman kicking a photographer, so hopefully nobody stay away from Dennis Rodman if he's that guy. He doesn't like photographers.
Right.
What was your I don't know, what was your most memorable moment as a photographer? What was your favorite photo? Do you have a favorite photo you've taken?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
Yeah, photographer's favorite photo. I figured that'd be a tough one for you, so I said I'd throw it in there.
So probably the first time I experienced, so I've had quite a few that have sold well because I shot for 3 wire services.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that I think probably comes to mind the most is the one that the experience that I had with it was crazy. So Ohio State was playing Penn State at Penn State, and it was a whiteout. And Ohio State was ranked, I think, like 2 or maybe even 1 that week, and Penn State was way up there. And Penn State ended up winning the game. And after the game, you can imagine what happened. All the students come screaming onto the field. And as a photographer, you're trying to run from the sidelines at the end to go to the handshake of coaches in the middle.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that everybody's coming in, and
you didn't see the stampede behind you.
I did not see it. It was insane. It was insane. So I turn around, and here they're all coming, and these kids they're just out of their freaking mind, right? And I've got all this gear on me. I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope it doesn't get broke,
Yeah, do not
like
$10,000.
Yeah. So yeah, they just started, I snapped a couple pictures, and I got one picture of this girl. She had a beanie on, and she just, screaming, and just the excitement and everybody in the background. And that's probably my favorite, photo that I've taken, just because of the energy that's in that and what had just happened.
It's the energy, man. You felt it. You were in it, man. And that vibration can't be replaced.
Oh yeah.
That's why a lot of these wrestlers and performers, it's hard for them to give up, because when they're out there and they're feeling that entire crowd chanting, screaming, it's like a drug itself, that vibration. So that's awesome, man.
That whole career was a drug, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't do any favors for my marriage. So yeah, it was a lot of time on the road,
traveling,
in California, all the way to the East Coast and down to Texas, and not to Wisconsin. Well, actually, no, I was in Madison once for Ohio State, Wisconsin. Yep. For basketball and football. But
we'll have to get you up here again, and we'll do like a cookout. Have Carrie do a cookout at the Montello Theater. Right. Because I would like to meet you in person.
Oh, I would love to be up there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also. I was just like, man, he's a photographer. I got to ask him about his favorite photo. You know, that is just. Here's one. Have you tried any new carnivore recipes?
No, I don't do recipes.
No. So like I was telling you about the carnivore pizza
Right.
or the taco bowl. Like, have you tried anything out of that or anything like that where you're like, well, let's try.
I mean, I would eat it if somebody was making it, but it
Mm-hmm.
just takes too much time and energy for me.
I got you.
I don't want to mess with it. So the last thing that I did that was a recipe is
Mm-hmm.
what's called butter of the gods.
But okay, I'm all ears here. Let me tune
And
in.
it was really good actually. So it's a long process recipe
Okay.
because what you have to do is you have to cure egg yolks.
Okay.
So you take the egg yolks
Mm-hmm.
and you have a plate of salt. So it's like a bed of salt.
Yeah.
You put little divots in there, and you just put you strain off the egg white. You put the egg yolk in the salt,
Okay.
and then
And a
you
little
bury
divot.
it. You bury it in like a half inch of salt over the top. You
Really?
put it in the fridge, and you leave it there for 7 days. And what happens is that salt extracts the moisture out of that egg yolk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so once that's done, then you take them out, you brush the salt off, and then you put them in like a cheesecloth and kind of twist it to where they stay individual from each other. They're not
Mm-hmm.
touching each other. And then you kind of hang it in the fridge, and it goes another 7 days to cure. It's sort of like in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're done. So once
Okay.
that's done, then you take bones, beef bones,
Mm-hmm.
and you roast them. You roast them to where the marrow is not completely liquefied. It still has some solid to it.
Okay.
You take that combined with the Kerrygold, grass-fed butter,
Mm-hmm.
equal parts. You mix that together, and you take those egg yolks and you grate them with a cheese grater. It's literally
Really?
like Parmesan cheese, but it
Wow.
has a really like umami flavor to it.
I didn't know you could even do that, man. Like you
Right.
just gave me a new level of awareness, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad I asked that
it looks
question.
like cheese. It's really crazy. So, and it tastes really good. So you can just grate that over a steak too, to get a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
protein, a little bit more fat, and just a different flavor. But you mix all that together, and then you wrap it in wax paper or saran wrap or something like that, and then put
Mm-hmm.
it in the fridge, let it cool, and then you could slice it. And I had that for a couple weeks, just putting a big like round slice of that on each one of my steaks, and it was really good. But
Wow.
like I said, that's a
That's a
long
process.
process.
I
So
tell you though, the carnivore taco bowl don't take that long. You just cook up some steak, some ground
right,
beef, and put some cheese on it, and it was
right.
really good, man. Like, it's one of my favorite things. And then we also did the carnivore pizza. So you just mix eggs and cheese, and then you flatten that out on parchment paper, and
Okay,
then that cheese is your pizza crust.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, that's
I would definitely eat it for sure.
yeah, and that was a little bit more of a process, but the carnivore taco bowl, that's pretty easy and it's really delicious.
Nice.
Um,
I have to try
yeah,
that.
got some more questions here for you. What's something new that you've learned being on the carnivore diet? Like I know for me, I recently learned about scurvy.
Right.
That's something I've learned that's new on the carnivore
Right.
diet. So, is there something you've learned that's new on the carnivore diet you can share with us that maybe we can learn too?
Uh, good question. Well, the big things for me at least were the realization that the human body does not need fiber at all. The human body does not need carbohydrates at all to survive, um, or thrive. Either one. Those are the two big things. And then some of the other things that I've been learning is that I didn't know before is that women women's their bodies mainly start with testosterone,
Mhm.
and their ovaries convert. I know it's kind of weird, and their ovaries convert the testosterone to estrogen,
Okay.
and so that kind of got me, interested in the female side of things, and
Mhm.
that's what I kind of want to lean towards with my channel is
Mhm.
because it seems like there's a lack of information out there for females.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, it seems like it's a lot more
I feel
male
like the girls
dominated.
get dogged in a lot of areas, you
Right.
know. Yeah.
And their issues seem to be a lot more specific,
Mm-hmm.
like there's stuff that cross both sides, like type 2 diabetes and, just being overweight and headaches or whatever, but they have very specific things usually
Mm-hmm.
that obviously, men don't experience. And it seems like it's a lot more complicated, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's attached to hormones and
Interesting.
ingestion of fat and things like that. So that's, yeah, after getting into carnivore, I learned a lot of that stuff, and it just is really interesting. And, there's a lot of females in my life, obviously, and I think could benefit from that information. So,
Yeah, I think it'd be nice if a lot more of the women came together, whether you're a carnivore mom or just, regardless, like just come together, help us guys, and
right.
so we don't get off track, and it's I've been encouraging my wife to share her carnivore story more too, like
Mm-hmm.
she's doing great, and there's going to be a lot of other women that can relate to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's awesome, man. And we just got to raise the women carnivore voices out there. So I'm glad you
Yeah, for
brought them
sure.
up. Appreciate that. Shout out
For
to
sure.
all the ladies who are watching the stream. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody watching. Yeah,
Exactly.
there may be a lot more female type, channels and stuff like that that's out there that I just don't realize, I guess, because YouTube doesn't serve it up to me.
Well, we're gonna find them, and also one more thing. I feel like guys lose weight a little easier. So I don't know. This
Right.
is my opinion. So I feel
Mhm.
like the girls, like stick in there. I know maybe you're not dropping the weight as fast as the guys, but like carnivore diet will work for you. And I really do. Every woman out there can get their results too, man. And this
Mhm.
is man or woman. This is the diet to be on, and it's great.
So true.
All right.
Yep.
Can I get you another question here? What's your favorite carnivore snack? What do you snack on if you
Mm.
get feeling snacky?
I really don't snack. But
No.
when I did in the first couple months, it
Hmm.
was probably bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, just make we cook a whole pack and throw it in the fridge. And if I get the urge and I don't want to eat a whole meal, just eat a couple pieces of bacon. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean,
I've
I'm
been
good at
addicted to
being
maple
able to
bacon.
wait until the next meal or just till I'm like really hungry. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't snack really.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of a snacker. Like I'll just cut up some sausage or take like some beef jerky or something. Like I'm like, God, I cannot wait till dinner. Like, give me something right now.
Right.
Here's what, are you planning on continuing your carnivore diet?
100%.
100.
100 1,000%.
I thought you'd say it, but I gotta ask
Yeah.
anyways.
I will never stop.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm eating this way until I'm dead, until I get scurvy or
I
I die of a heart attack.
know what scurvy is now. I learned that on the keto cookout with you guys. You guys raised my awareness, and I
Right?
appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
mean,
funny.
if I die of scurvy or I die of a heart attack, I know that I have lived 100% until that point. So the way that I feel versus the way that I felt before with
Mhm.
the standard, diet recommendations, I'd rather not die a slow, early death eating the way that we're supposed to eat,
Mhm.
as opposed to what I'm doing now, and what they say is you're racing towards a heart attack.
Right.
So I'll race towards the heart attack, and we'll see what happens.
I doubt you'll have one, but it reminded me of that Rick guy from the 10-hour stream. He's been a carnivore since like what, 86? And
Right.
he started out a protest, but he said, you know what, like I'm feeling good every day, and if I'm gonna have a heart attack one day, I'd rather feel good every day than had a heart attack one day than eat crappy
Exactly.
food, feel like crap every day. And I hate to bust people's bubby. Even if you went back to eating the crappy food, you're afraid of having a heart attack on the carnivore. I
Hmm.
hate to tell you, man, you're gonna feel like crap every day, and you're still gonna die one day. I
Right.
hate to bust, like, so you might as well feel good every day as much as you can, and don't live in fear, live in life, live in joy, live in
Absolutely.
knowledge and confidence.
Absolutely. I live in zero fear. Now, if there
Hmm.
was a tiger or something like that chasing me, obviously, instinct and fear would kick in
Right.
to run away, or at least try to make friends with it or something.
Yeah,
Be like, hey, I'm a carnivore, man.
Yeah. No, I actually
let
got
me
a
be.
video coming out tomorrow called Riding the Tiger.
Nice.
And you might not run away from that tiger after you hear my video. So make sure you check that out tomorrow. That's funny you brought that up. See, that's all vibrations and stuff, man.
Yeah,
Nothing's
I mean, the way
coincidence
that
out
I
here.
view it, these are just husks that we're in. Everyone their soul is eternal, no matter what way you look at it.
Yes.
This is, you were here before this body was created, and you'll be here after this body's created. So yeah, I have zero fear of.
That's great, man. You've got that awareness that we're spirits or spiritual beings in a physical body, man.
Exactly.
And
yep.
There's maybe death to the body, but your spirit will live forever, man. And
right.
Right now we've got to worry about dieting and stuff because we're in this physical body.
Right.
But one day you won't be in there and you won't have to worry about diets. You fly around, do whatever the hell you want to do, right?
Yep. While I'm in here, I'm going to try to, give it the optimal way to eat. So
right.
It's not suppressing myself from my spiritual self. Yeah. Right. I truly think that these chemicals in these foods block some of that connection. And that's why so many people have mental health issues and stuff like that. It's blocking the connection with who they really are,
Yeah. And I feel like it blocks your connection with gratitude. I was not grateful for life on my old diet. I wasn't, man. Right. I felt like crap. And why would you be grateful then, Absolutely. But then you have to realize, like, even if you feel like crap, you should be grateful for the spirit experience and make better decisions so you don't feel like crap,
So that's true.
That was my rock bottom. But can we talk about your YouTube channel for a bit here?
Sure.
Carnivore Today. What inspired Carnivore Today? Tell us about Carnivore Today. What's your goal with it? Like, what direction are you headed with Carnivore Today?
To help people heal, literally. If it's not about making money or anything like that, because it takes a long time before you can make any kind of money doing this sort of thing. And when you do, it's usually, pennies. It's not much at all. So I'm going to do, I know that I can reach certain people that you can't. You can reach certain people that I can't. Some people are going to hate me. Some people are going to like me. And everybody just has their own. It's not really about me and my story. I can tell that, and some people can relate to that, but it's just, you can tell somebody how to do something in this lifestyle one way, and I'll tell it a different way. And neither one of us are wrong. And certain people will get the information from you better, and they'll get it from me better. And as a whole, the more people that do that, everybody will be better. And if everybody's better, I'm better. Right.
Right.
So that's the main reason why I started the channel is I can't keep this to myself.
No,
it's literally like you have found the Ark of the Covenant or the Fountain of Youth or a genie in a bottle. I mean, it's like you're sitting next to Jesus, or something. It's just miraculous. And I'll say it however many ways that I can, explain it however many ways I can, come up with as many different videos as I can to help people. I mean, and that's essentially what it is. So I chose a more blanket name for the channel, Carnivore Today, instead of me, myself. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the topic.
Modern day carnivore, today's carnivore, right?
Exactly.
Us,
exactly.
And everybody watching.
Eventually I'll get to doing something every day, but right now, obviously, I have another business, so that's first. This is secondary. So, yeah,
that's great. And make sure you guys, like I said, go to his channel. If you haven't done it right now, just minimize this little screen. Don't click on it. Go to the search bar and type in @Carnivore Today. Make sure you add and subscribe to Adam. He's really a nice guy, man. He's gonna be a beacon of light in your life if you hit that subscribe button. I really believe that, man, because he's already been a beacon of light in my life, and I appreciate him. And like I said, you guys, this is episode 1, and he was nice enough to be my episode 1. So
I
If that
appreciate
doesn't
that,
tell you what
JT.
type of guy you're looking at and talking to right now, I don't know what would, man. He's a great guy and even says it on his shirt, man. He's compassionate. And I'm thrilled to be involved with you guys on the committee, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
And shout out to everybody who's been donating to the carnivore documentary. And I
Yes.
saw you adding up all the totals and helping out, so it's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yep.
And I don't
For
know if we're
sure.
gonna get cut off or not here.
Okay.
But it was fun. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys did too watching. And we're definitely gonna have you on again because I feel like I could ask you 100 more questions just about being a photographer.
Right.
Because like that lens, seeing it through the lens of Adam, man. Like I'm
Right.
telling you, man, that should be a vlog series too. If you've ever vlogged yourself, man, like the lens of Adam, man, or something like that.
Right.
I really like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
So guys,
Absolutely.
there we go. Yes, don't forget to like the videos, share them, and there's value in the replay. I say my coach would always say the first law of learning is repetition. And sometimes when you watch a video and listen to something, your mind will drift once in a while. You'll get at ideas or things you want to do, groceries to pick up, and you'll miss certain information. So that's why I say there's value in the replay. Go back, replay his interview, listen to Adam, and really soak up. He's here for a reason. He's trying to give you guys awareness and tips. So there's value in the replay, and I hope you guys understand that.
Amen. Thanks for
Amen.
having me, JT.
Yeah,
I
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Yep.
Much love, brother.
Yeah, much love. See you guys later.
Yep.
Bye, Poko Moon fam.
Bye, guys.